Hi, I just want to give you a quick overview of the PRINCE2 processes. Now these actually make up what we would normally call a life cycle, but interestingly, PRINCE2 does not call it the life cycle. All right, it's a set of processes that happen during the project journey. And while I'm at it, actually, I don't know why we call things a project life cycle, because they don't cycle, do they, in a project? Right, we have a start, an end, and then the project has a lifetime, not a life cycle. So it's kind of one of those weird terms that are floated into our professional vocabulary. Okay, so first thing to remember, as I said, it's not a life cycle, it's a set of processes that happen in the journey. So when we think about that journey, PRINCE2, like many project methods, has a startup. Now, one of the things that we've learned is if you start up a project whilst your idea is still forming, then you're going to run into trouble. So it's worth thinking about what pre-project involves. You've got an idea, it needs to crystallize and become a concept before the project starts. Otherwise, the methodology of a project will wrap you up a little bit. So if you're project managers, you want to see how mature the idea is when you get it. Hopefully, it's got the start of a business case rolling. You shouldn't say, I've got an idea, let's go on and do a project mandate. Okay, so just remembering, when does the project start? And before the PRINCE2 lifecycle starts, we expect the business requirements to be there. Yeah, so that's pre-project world. So now we're into project world. So we have a startup, which takes the mandate, which is a kind of loose collection of requirements. And we then look and say, can we deliver this? Yeah, okay, this is what a project would look like. We call that the project brief. All right. Then what's really unique about PRINCE2 is this thing called directing a project process, because it runs through the entire lifetime of the project, and it's where the big hitters are sat giving decisions to the project manager. Right? So it's really unusual this. Most project methods that we've looked at don't separate directing from managing. It's all kind of in a sequence of things, but this one lives above it. So you need to take time to think out what the implications of that are, because they're giving authority, they're dealing with exceptions, and giving approvals. So it's a kind of definitely unique to PRINCE2, that idea. So once we've got our startup, we've got our project brief, we then have PRINCE2 calling the next stage initiating a project. So that's not too different to some of the other methods where they have defining a project. And it's really where we just sit down and define the management approach to the project. It's not defining the delivery approach, it's how you're going to manage this. So you'll find it talks about change management approaches, configuration management approaches, benefit management approaches. You sit down and put all this together. How are we going to do it? What it doesn't do is how are we going to fix this piece of equipment, or what the engineers, whoever's working on your project's doing, or the people that are creating the products. You don't get down to that. It's the management approach, management in big letters. All right. So that's what we do in initiating. And then we go through waves of delivery. Right? So if you were to look at a common method, you might have design, build, develop, deliver, whatever it happens to be. PRINCE2 doesn't know what your project's going to be like, so it has no view on this. So what it's done is it's very cleverly created some processes that can sit in any of the bodies of knowledge. All right? So it's got one which is called controlling a stage, which is basically the interface between the delivery team and the project board. So during the controlling a phase stage, there's some variance, it's handling all those reports, and it's using change and progress reporting, risk. And if something it thinks is going out of tolerance, then it'll do an exception report. So the controlling a stage is the buffer between directing a project and the delivery team. And then whatever your stage is, you come to the end of a stage, and it has a thing called stage boundary, or managing a stage boundary. So whatever stage you were in, design, build, develop, whatever words you're going to use, you should come to a point where we've got to a point where we need to make a decision if we're going to continue or get our progress signed off. And so there's a bunch of simple steps that happen at the end of every stage, whatever stage it happens to be, and that's encapsulated into managing a stage. And then the smallest process of all is the one where all the work's done, which is managing product delivery. And it's at that point, it could be commissioning, building a bridge, or writing a document, writing a book, whatever it could be, right? So actually, that's where all the delivery is kicked from. All right, so if you look at the layers, you've got the directing a project, Controlling a stage is the management of things that are going on, and then the managing a product delivery is where you're commissioning all the big technical work or whatever it happens to be. All right, and then we get to the end and we've got a classic closing a project, right, which is basically an enhanced end stage. All right, I hope that helps explain it, because there's a whole load of words, but if you don't kind of grasp how it all fits together, then it can be quite a frustrating product to work with. It was for me in the early days. So I hope that explains it for you okay, and I hope you enjoyed the course or just enjoyed the video for what it was worth. All right, see you again sometime.